Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you how to take the running boards off of an F15 X5 right here. Um, I'm removing these in preparation for replacing them with Romik running boards. I've done the other side already, so I've kind of got an idea of how to take this apart. I'll show you all the steps. Most aren't too bad until you get to the pulling it off part. That took me a long time to figure out because I'd never done this before and I was trying not to break anything. So we'll go through it step by step. All right, so once you've got your car all jacked up, the first thing to do is to remove these plastic plugs. These run all the way along the bottom side. There's probably about 8 of them. And these just pop straight out. So the method that I found that worked the best is I take a flathead screwdriver. I'm able to wedge that under one edge, and then I can pull it down a little bit, and that leaves me enough room that I can slide my plastic pry bar up above the screwdriver, and it'll slide in there, and then I can just pop it out. These go flying everywhere when they pop out, but they're not that hard. So here's what it looks like when it's off, and those plastic plugs fit in all of these holes. There's only one that's tricky, and it's this one down here at the end that's kind of tucked back. It'll be harder to see. That's a little harder to get at because it's recessed there. All right, the next step is to remove these screws. These are 8mm sockets, and you're going to find 3 of these. There's 2 in the rear, by the rear, right behind the mud flap. 1, 2, and then there's 1 up front hidden in this little hole here. Take all those out. The next step is to remove these 2 bottom things here. These are called pop rivets, I believe. And on the front and the rear, you're going to have to do the bottom 2 on both sides. And the way these work is there's a little pin in the middle, and you have to shove that in. And it'll make a loud popping sound like it breaks, but it doesn't. And then you're able to pull the whole thing out. So the best method that I found to do this is using an Allen wrench. Just get a little Allen wrench that's small enough that it's going to fit right there in the middle of that. And then I take a board. Here I got a 2x4. I stick it in here against the wheel, and then I can use this as a lever, and I can push against my Allen wrench, and I can pop that thing in. The nice thing about the Allen wrench is it's curved, so you're able to hold on to it and still get this in here and push on it. And it should make a loud popping sound, and then those will come right out. All right, so the reason that we took those 2 push pins out is because we have to pull this outside trim off. And the reason for that is because the piece we're trying to get to, it has another hook in here that has to come out, that you have to pull out, and it comes way up here. So you got to make sure you get this out far enough that you can dislodge this one. So this just pulls out. If you can see on the back, there's a snap here in the middle. See the white thing? So basically it's just pull hard and it'll come off. If these trim pieces are giving you trouble coming off, which sometimes they do, I just pull it out enough I can wedge a screwdriver up underneath it, and then I can use it as leverage to pop the thing off. All right, so once you have both of your trims loose, my method has been to work from the back to the front of the car and just pry it out from the back, and as I go forward they'll kind of let loose. So get this trim out enough that you can get a tool back behind it. Oh, now they're stuck together on me. There we go. Get it so you can get a tool back here and you can pop. Can you see it? There it is. Get a pry tool under there so you can pop that one loose. That's the only thing holding it. And then down here in this crack, I just take a pry tool and I work my way along from the back all the way to the front of the car, and that should get this cover off. So my second one came off fine, and like I said, I was working from the back, which is the end with the clip, to the front, and there's really no clips until you get up here towards the front. Right by the front door, you'll run into these. There's 3 of them. So that's why you need that pry tool over the top to just kind of pop those off. And then it should come out. And then when you get up to the front, this thing it's kind of recessed. There's another piece that's over the top of it. So you might have to pull that down a little bit in order to get this thing to finally let loose. Okay, now we've got to the part where we're going to remove this metal brace. Actually, it's plastic. There's bolts here, top and bottom, all along the sides. That's a 15mm socket, and I'm using an impact gun. I have to put an extension on it because a couple of them underneath the door I can't reach without the extension. Now, before you take off this brace, one thing I forgot to mention is there's this sensor mounted back here by the back wheel. This is on both sides, and the wire runs all along underneath up to the front. So you got to take this off before you take off your metal brace. I reattach mine using magnets. That's what I did for the other side anyway. So that's it. Everything's off now. I'm ready to start installing some new ones, but I haven't got the new side skirts yet, so I'm not sure how this sensor is going to mount. So for the time being, I'm just hanging it with these magnetic hooks. I use that to hold that in place, and I use them to keep the wire up the whole way down there. I guess I will figure that one out when the new side skirts arrive. So if this video helped you out, please like and subscribe. That would help me out. And I hope to be able to talk to you again someday.